Everyone, it's me again. My name is Yuri and we're gonna do some three.js Webgl live coding today. Let me know everything is fine, video, audio, and let's get started.
It's me again. My name is Yuri.
Oops, no. Don't talk to me. Okay. Long time no see. I've been doing some short videos lately, and I think that's gonna be the plan. I'm gonna be doing more short videos. But like once in a month, maybe I still want to have a stream because this is kind of fun to me. Stressful, but fun. So hello everyone, and let's get started. Today we're going to be doing animation from the Gleek.com website. I think this one is done by the Immersive Garden Studio agency, which is a really cool agency. They've done a lot of cool websites and experiences on the web. And the website is actually pretty cool overall, but you know, this one particular effect caught my eye. The effect with how the texts are appearing on this website. So if you go into the website, how they are disappearing, how they are appearing there. I mean, there are a lot of awesome parts of this website, of course, but we can't really create the website in 1 hour or under 1 hour. But we can at least try to recreate the text animation, which is pretty cool, and I think pretty neat idea with a good implementation. Oh, hello, welcome for your first time. It's been a lot of streams for me already. I think lately I counted it's like over 100 of them already, like 130 or something like that. I'm good, still alive, still in Kiev, going strong, maybe? I don't know. Well, at least I'm alive, that's for sure. You can see that. Okay, so let's recreate this effect. I actually recorded the video because it's, I mean, crawling every time to get this title effect is pretty inconvenient. So I did a video with this particular effect. So this is what we're gonna create today. So the effect that you can apply to any kind of text. I mean, you state the text and then you apply the effect. This is what we're gonna do. Pretty awesome, right? Слава ЗСУ. Слава Україні. It's so complicated now in my head because, well, of course, I mean, I was born with my parents talk to me in Russian, but now I'm mostly speaking Ukrainian, and then I'm streaming in English. And then when someone speaks another language to me, like, I mean, Ukrainian, it's so hard to not switch to Ukrainian 100%. Yeah, it's a pretty dope effect, and I believe I've played the role like of a OSINT investigator, like a Hristo Grozev, and I investigated who might be the author of that effect. I mean, the person, because usually the agency just states that they build the website, but we might take a glimpse on who could be the author of this effect. I'm gonna just share the website with you as well, because this is one of the coolest websites that I've seen recently this year. So mini series and shader basics to advanced. Okay, maybe I've started to creating short videos just to get a grip on how to create them at all, because you know what's funny, it's actually harder for me to create 30-second video than like this stream. So for this stream I would like prepare a couple of hours. Differs from stream to stream, but anyway, let's get started. I'm gonna start with the template. Always a click. So yeah, so with the long streams, like an hour stream, it takes a couple of hours to create one. And with the 30-second video, would you believe that it takes like same time, even more? Like it took me 4 hours to create 30-second video. This is crazy. You can't believe it until you try to do that. But maybe next time it's gonna be faster for me, because I'm getting better with editing videos finally. You know what, also fun story, why I do streaming, because I'm so afraid of editing the videos. I just can't do that, so I decided I'd better stream, because you don't need to edit video. after the stream. Just stream, live stream. Easy. Thanks, thank you guys for the kind words. That really matters a lot. Any kind of support matters a lot. So yeah, we got this. Let's open up the template, arrange the windows. Oh, that's too much. It's helpful. See the chat. What kind of stack I need to have to do this kind of animation? Well, I'm the kind of person that thinks you don't really required to have some kind of stack. So if you want to do this, you just go and do this. There's no special stack. Of course, on the way, you would eventually learn three.js and maybe a little bit of basic math. But if you want to create this, there's no stack that you should learn first. You just should try and learn stack on the go. Sometimes you could create this same animation with three.js, but you could create it with Pixie as well, and with any kind of things. So we have the basic template now. Let's get started, just so we are sure we're editing this. Yeah, we have this. Hello, hello. I'm good. Good. Sometimes I don't feel good, I guess. Sometimes you feel like you don't have any more energy, but you know, I'm in a pretty good position compared to a lot of people. So I'm not complaining at all. Trying my best to support the guys on the front lines and do my job. That's it. All right, so we have this. Where do we start with this effect? All right, first of all, there's a couple of parts for this one. First of all, obviously there's a text. You can't, well, to create this effect, I mean, probably, maybe you could use CSS in some way, but this would be really, I don't even know where to start with this. Probably with some SVG masks or something like that. So, well, the obvious choice is to use text in Webgl. And there are not so many ways to use text in Webgl. I mean, one of them is text geometry, three.js text geometry, which is not used for text, I should say. You should know that maybe if you're just a beginner in three.js, it's mostly used not for text, but used for some like objects, I would say. Used to create objects based on text, like you would need a huge letter P on your website, and then you go and create text. So this one creates a geometry for the text. All right, and it uses a JSON format for the text. Okay, but this one is not used for text, and obviously on the glick.com they didn't use it. So what they used, what I think they used, is the so-called MSDF text. three.js, and there are a lot of libraries to do that already, and there's yeah, even 3MSDF, but all of them are, I should say, pretty old. Like this one published 5 years ago, and was it even updated since then? Not so sure about that. Yeah, last published 5 years ago. Okay, and obviously there's a lot of updates for the three.js and for the stuff. You still could use this library, and there's also the library by Gem3. How do you call it? Yeah, BM font. It was called BM font, which is the same because they still have the MSDF rendering. And the thing that they're using, actually, just so you know what is MSDF, if you haven't been following my streams, so I've used this technique already a couple of times. So let's just see. Well, this is actually, I'm curious how they use this one. I'm gonna decompose it later on, but this is how the fonts look like in MSDF formats. This is just a PNG and a lot of SDF kind of image format, SDF field, SD field, I guess, because F is already filled. So yeah, this is how the fonts look like, and then in the shader we just do some math and get the letters. You could already see that this is a W, this is the O, and they are all looking gradient-like. And by the way, this is one of the best ways to render fonts in Webgl. Yeah. And, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you learned something. Technologies to learn for the first job, I would say just doing good HTML, CSS is a pretty good first step. Okay, so, but this one is also pretty old. I mean, all the libraries are pretty old. But I stumbled on one of the libraries that been cloned from this one, because sometimes it's a good way to look at the forks and who forked and who created some clones from the libraries and updated them. And there's actually a Leo. My French is really bad, so apologies, Leo. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but the great Leo Chocolate. It might be better. So all the credits for this library goes to Leo Chocolate, and go ahead and like and start his library, because I believe he wanted it to be the open source. At least the README is pretty good, and it also has a lot of examples. And this one obviously updated like recently. And I believe this is the library that the Glick used to create this text effect. It's not that like something magic and special. It's a clone of the original, like it states like that, 3BM font text library from the Gem3 agency, which is another cool agency, and a lot of nice, really cool features being added here, which are gonna help us to create this animation. So let's use this library for today's demo. This is how you should install it. It's not, I believe, not yet published, publicly at least, on the NPM. Or maybe it's a secret one, then I'm sorry. But I believe Leo is responsible for the animations on the website glick.com. And if you're watching this, Leo, all huge respect goes to you for these cool, nice animations. So I'm gonna install it. MSDF. Sign a distance field, but multicolor, I think, right? If anyone knows what's M in MSDF. I think multicolor. Because the usual SDF are black and white, and MSDF are multicolor. So it's just the image format to get crisp text. And this is how we use it. And this is how we use it. I'm just gonna throw it in my library so we don't waste more time. There's also, we require the font in two files actually. We need the PNG for the font, and then we need the JSON describing like what exactly are we seeing. A multi. And multi, I think, stands for the different colors, right, that they use. It's not just black and white, because when you use more colors, I think you achieve more precision and it's more smooth. So that's why they use the multi field. Okay. So we will need two files, and then online MSDF, if you just Google, you get the font generator, and then you just need to take any kind of font. Let's find any kind of font. Painful. Why is it so painful? Not painful at all. You learn a lot, and the more painful the animation is, usually the more money that you get for it. This is the world. Okay, where's the Dean? I need the Dean. Did I have it somewhere on my desktop? I honestly could use any kind of font. Let's see what we have here. Only seen some weird ones. Doesn't really matter, but still, you wanna have some custom font. Okay, this is pretty top. Let's use maybe this one. Avenir. Okay, so we have the Avenir, and then let's convert this Avenir to MSDF format. I don't know why. This maybe the author is from China, but we will need the in JS. I think I only need the uppercase. Right? Is there any alphabet here? It's complicated. Oh, there's a code golf challenge in generating alphabet in the shortest amount of characters parsable, and I believe the winner is just the static string variable. Anyway, I'm gonna go to console because I think I need to them only the uppercase. All right, we have TTF 156, create MSDF. Hi everyone, long time no see. Hello to Taiwan. Oh, you've been in the news just like we do. Hope it's all right there. And it's gonna be all right. Okay, so we have this, obviously this is the font that I picked, like the rounded one. And let's let's download this one. And in the zip file, we usually find the JSON and the PNG. And the PNG looks, well, exactly like the MSDF that I showed you before. Maybe less characters here because I only took the uppercase ones. And then the JSON, and then the practice with the JSON, sometimes people rename it to something not JSON, just so they could be able to use it, not bundle it, I believe. So let's use font. Mm, this taking too much time to implement this font, so maybe I'll speed up a little bit. So first I need the FNT file. And then PNG, let's go PNG. Let's first just show at least something on the screen, some text, and let's continue from that. So remove the stuff I don't need here. Then I'm just copy paste from the Leo sample. Not sure it's gonna work right away as it is, but let's try this. And here it's gonna be a PNG URL. So it's hello world, and let's make it uppercase. Just make it hello. Format this all things. So we have a promise all, which loads like two promises, load font and load font atlas, and then we load them and we create a mesh. And then because this is all wrapped, okay, this should work. So far we only have my mesh. Don't see anything. Maybe we have some error, textural. Oh yeah, right. And font loader have to be imported. So let's get this one. Just kind of speeding up a little because you could explain this in 2 hours, in 3 hours, or in 5 minutes. Gotta get the import that I need. If something is not clear what I'm doing, just go ahead and ask me. I'm gonna try to explain this stuff. Right now, I just want to render something on my screen and get rid of all the errors. So we have, what is this error? Oh, I believe I'm not importing the, I need to say to the parcel that I want these files to be imported as URLs. Right? Restart it. See. Why do I get this error? Weird one. Okay. Let's see. Let's see how we load the things here. Okay, do we have the font loader at all? Let's log. Font loader is there. Also log the path. Um, the path is something weird. I choose Dracoloader. I don't need Dracoloader actually. It's just my template. I don't really need it at all. Delete it. But right now I'm trying to figure out the error that I'm getting here. So this font URL, the path should be the variable, but it gets me something weird here. A lot font path. Why the hell do I have something weird in the path? Pages, characters. So it's already a lot. Okay, it's still somehow loading this whole thing as a JSON for me. But why? Why would you do that? Hmm. Okay. Let's do this. So instead of, I believe this is a bundler issue, and this font, what I'm getting here actually, font. I'm not even getting there because I'm getting the error there, and so it's just the structure is not suited for the parcel. Hello to Mexico. And I need to change it a little bit. And but why the hell I'm just getting this FNT imported, even though it's those bundlers. Yeah, it's still importing this file for me, even though it's not a JSON, and even though I'm stated in the parcel that it's just one of the files that I want the URLs to be imported. Why would it do that to me? Do you know? I don't. All right, but then we could just use, I believe this font data that I'm using here is just that. So instead of this, okay, we can bundle it. Okay. And this could use here NT. Font is not defined. Yeah, here. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere now. Now, I believe it's because the mesh is too big here. And we're looking at the mesh from the different side. But anyway, so mesh scale. Like this. It's always a little bit cumbersome to use MSDFs. So you spend some time until you... till you get there. Okay, so we actually got it here, but it's just way too big. Maybe even less than that. And then I could put the camera on the other side. Still no. Okay, it's still too big. Am I even scaling it? Yeah, so now it's too small. Of course, this is a development pain. So now we got the hello, it's somehow on the other side. But yeah. So you know, it's so hard sometimes with MSDL because it's like a default three.js kind of thing, but then you import MSDF and you don't see anything, and you might waste a lot of time figuring out like what's wrong. But then it's just looking at the text from the other side, and I think like here you could just use the material and say that it should be double side, and you're gonna get exactly what you want here. And also, I think we might want to flip it, but then let's look a little bit more into the library. Like what kind of examples do we have here? We have the basic, we have the stroke. So this library actually supports stroke text by default. And then there's even an editor, so you could change the letter spacing maybe. Change the text opacity and stuff. And then what I'm interested in here is to get involved with the shaders, because I need shaders to animate stuff. And luckily, and this is what I like so much about this library, it gets you exactly that. You just use shaders. So let's use a shader example here. Need to import the uniforms also. And instead of creating material, just the MSDF function, I will need to do something like this. And then set the atlas for this material. Start that. Text a little smaller. So instead of this, I'm gonna do create material, same thing. Shader material. There's also a function for the small text. Pretty cool. Then we have uniforms that we imported, the default ones. And then we have shader includes, which is gonna be really helpful for us. So we have SDF variants, uniforms, and we have the basic parts for the shader for the MSDF. And then we could set the atlas, and then, well, hopefully we should see something. Not here, maybe here. I don't see anything yet because, okay, double site. See, it's already added because sometimes you might be looking at the meshes from the different sides. We have the hello, and I believe this is easily fixable with just flipping the stuff here. Maybe we could flip the texture as well. I don't know why we have this default flip. Maybe I have to figure out after this stream. Resource to learn GLSL, the book of shaders. And then 3.js journey, and then any kind of courses. I mean, I would not suggest any resources. I would suggest just sitting and trying. So now we have the text, and I imported the default stroke version because there's where's that MSDF stroke output. But then just to check that we are in control here, yeah, we could use anything. And I think the text is being rendered with a discard. So if I just change the text, I mean, change output any color, because everything else is discarded, I'm gonna get this. There's also a centering options, right? Align something, align. I should have set this align though. Other options, it's set for the MSDF text geometry, so I believe now I should align it myself. Well, I could just do something. Just to roughly center it in my screen, and then maybe make it a little bit bigger. I want more text. Then I need it more like that. This is how centering in the browser works. You just, do this. Okay, so now we have this hello. I kind of hate the yellow. Let's make it red. All right, hello. Hello there. Should you learn Vue or React? I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter, but React is more popular, but in the end, you would need to be able to use both, I think. And one of them more proficiently because, well, you're gonna be doing more code in one of them. But it honestly doesn't matter. I like Svelte more. Hello there. So we spend a half an hour to write a hello. This is how we code, right? But then this is really important. Okay, we now have a shader and this thing. So let's step back a little bit and go back to the thing here. So first of all, I need some kind of checkerboard pattern here. Where do I add the mesh? Here. Okay, so now let's bring it back a little bit. And first of all, I want to create a noise pattern. So GLSL hash, still noise, right? Okay, doesn't matter which. And then what I want here is to be able to create some kind of noise function. So I want to create a checker pattern, right? So plot x is going to be equal lore, and then multiply UVs, not with this, but something, I don't know, 10. And then y Same for y. And then I could take the noise value of this and then like plot noise equals this one is from 2, so it's y. Then let's output this here. Now the shader coding begins. Error, run. What's wrong with you? So we have the noise and it says that the rand function is not there, but it is there. No matching 53. So I need the rand from the two-dimensional thing. Pain. One. Yeah, so now we get this checker pattern. Now what I want to do, the next thing, I want to kind of create the shading effect, like from left to right, that something fills it, fades in from left to right. Ooh, hello to you, I guess. I will translate it later. And hello to you guys from Hungary, and did I miss Mexico? And sí, sí. México is muy bien. Noise. So we have the checkerboard pattern, and you can already see that it's being used here, like with the shading effect here, the checker pattern here. I'm gonna use it a lot. Now the fill-in pattern. So there's a progress thing, and then let's create the progress. So we have the progress. Change. Yeah, it's this material. Right, we have the progress, the fragment shader. I don't know, let's multiply this one with the progress. Something is not right. Setting value of undefined. This material uniforms progress value. We have progress here. Oh. Yeah, so now the progress is working. Hello to Texas. And to Germany too. Well, thank you guys for mentioning it. It's really inspiring when you learn that people are watching you from such, like, from all over the planet. I believe I could say that, right? If it's Germany, Taiwan, and Mexico, it's already all over the globe. Really inspiring. Thank you guys. This is what keeps me going. All right, so we have this button. I need to feel it. I need to feel it. I mean, feel it. Is it pronounced differently in English, like feel and feel? So how do you do that? For this, I believe we would need the map range function as well, just the range function. But let's say we would need a couple of those. So let's say p0 equals progress. So we will be able to copy paste this code later on. A lot of fronts too. All right, so we have this progress, and I want to do a smooth step now with this progress with the x coordinate. So I'm gonna update this p0 as a smooth step, and then it's gonna be p0 plus, I don't know, something, and then vuvx. Then let's output this thing just to see how it looks like. So we're kind of getting this filling thing. It's not perfect yet because it already starts like a little bit filled. I want it to be from like full white to full black or vice versa. So but this, I think we would just need to move a little bit, like to map the P0 for the different range. So GLSL range. Let's get this function in going. So P0, it's gonna map it By default, P0 is 0, 1, but then I want to map it, like this 0.5 is actually the width of my kind of mask of fill thing. So this is like a width of this thing, right? The smoothest, so let's create a variable for that. 0.5, let's say, so it's going to be 0 plus w, which is width. And then here is going to be, I think it should be 0, 1 to minus width, so we move it further to the left to 1. Should be like that, something like that. Let's just try this one. It doesn't work because the map function maybe it's p0, 0, 1. Should be working, but it's not because p0 width undeclared identifier. All right, yeah. Okay, perfect. Now we got it. We got it, guys. So now we have this noise. Let's call it pattern, maybe. More makes more sense, I believe. Yeah, I used GitHub Copilot. It actually, like most of the time, it doesn't help, but sometimes I just forget some basic stuff, and then it just fills me with like one of the, like this, for example. Well, this is useless actually. It's just the previous line with the Y, right? But anyway, sometimes it's pretty useful, so I feel like it's just worth that. So I'm gonna keep it because it was some trial for a month or so, but then I believe I'd like to keep it actually. Sometimes it helps. A lot of Vietnam. Whoa, we really have a vast geography today, right? Vast? Inspiring. All right, so we have the checkerboard pattern. Now I wanna create the fade in effect with the checkerboard pattern. How do you do that? So let's create another like something p0 underscore, which is gonna be, let's say, so this checkerboard pattern is actually values between 0 and 1. So if I just output it for a second. Yeah, it's just that. So if I add progress to this one, see what's gonna happen. So it's just gonna feel like that. It actually already kind of fade in checkerboard animation. Go to Nigeria too. So we now have all the continents. Only Australia is missing now. Hopefully someone from Australia will comment this video to accomplish all the continents thing for me, right? Thank you guys. It's really overwhelming support. From musician to front-end developer. Inspiring. Hello, Leif. Long time no see. You have a crazy time over there, right? A German night. Oh, okay. Okay, so P0. So we have, I want to checkerboard fill in pattern. So P0 is going to be maybe like that. Maybe progress, but P0 plus minus pattern. So, and I will need to clamp this value probably because it's going to go to minus negative values. Let's see what's going to happen now. And let's output this P0 underscore. Kind of, right? But I think I should multiply it twice maybe. Because this way, it'll work like that, right? You know, it's just mostly basic math. So this pattern is between like 0 and 1 values, and if we multiply my progress double, we double it, it goes like this one is now from -1 to 0, right? So if we add 2, it's definitely like over the top, like it's definitely gonna go to white or black. This is what's exactly happening here. And we just created a pretty cool fade in effect. And we're gonna use it in, oh, Australia here. Okay, my life is complete now. So we just created this fade in effect, and it wasn't that complicated, right? I mean, there's still a map range, but it's still a couple of basic things. So there's no, you don't need some secret knowledge to figure this out. You just need to try and like make this your, like understand these lines, because we basically used 3 lines of code to create this and a noise function. All right. Next step. Now, first of all, I will probably convert this one. We'll just get rid from this thing and convert it to the font, right? Yeah, let's do that. Or maybe, okay, yeah, now let's do that. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm gonna just copy paste the functions that I need here to my shader in JavaScript, which I using for the font. And it is really cool because this is obviously created by developer for developer, because he definitely knew you would need to go into those shaders to create those effects, and they specifically create this way of using MSDF to do that. And right, so this is the functions that we need. Let's bring back the font and remove this thing that we had here. That. So now we have hello, nothing is changing. We don't even have progress yet, I believe here. Do something like that. And then, well, that sounds helpful to me. By the way, we have a red thing here. Let's I don't know, green one? No, I think it's you. Yeah, it's this variable that's being used. You could look it up in the docs, but this is the variable to use for the color of the font. And then there's also just the usual color, but I guess we will not need that. Also, what I wanted here, the progress. U progress by default 0. Let's call it U progress 1. We're gonna find out soon why. Then I need to say this in the shader. Getting closer. Sri Lanka. Ooh, this is the last place I've been outside Ukraine actually. Really like it there. Yeah, the uniform. I need to put the uniform. Float U progress 1. How you do this? And let's maybe multiply my green color, the U progress 1. I'm gonna get it black, and if it's gonna be 1, then we're gonna get it red. Okay. Anyway, works for me. So now when I change progress, I want it to become red. For this, I will need to make this material global. Why is that? Because I'm probably setting the time uniform here. Okay, let's set the time. Still something wrong. Material is not defined. Okay, I'm using material later on. Okay, another material. Still. Where's that? Okay, I actually do that twice. Right. But it doesn't work for me yet because change it in the GUI now. Now it does work. So now we have connected the my slider to MSDF font. The next thing I want to create a couple of different looks for my font, for my text, and then let's create them. Let's create them right after this output. So let's create, like, first one is gonna be let's call it like layer 1. It's gonna be what? Or which colors are we gonna be using here? we could just use the same colors that used in the original one. Okay. And now this is the L1 look. And I believe, do we need this? Probably, yeah, I could live with it. I would still need this. Like L1, and then we could render like those different looks. So the look 1 is going to be just the white text, right? Maybe I should make it black. Uh, all right. Look 1 is black one. Okay, look 2, I kind of want to make it a stroke. I want to use the stroke for this one. I think there's a border thing there. No? Or is it? Yeah, there's a border already variable calculated inside this MSDF strokes output, which I could use for the transparency for the stroke text. Okay. Next, we have the border now. I want the border with the, let's make this one a little bit more transparent. And the L2 is gonna be just the border. So L1 we have like a little bit grayish, and then L2 is gonna be this. Then L3, I wanna get the fill color for this one. Oops. Let's take this pink one. So level 3 is gonna be pink, and just one. So level 3, just the pink one. And then level 4, I could do this is gonna be the final color, which is gonna be, I don't know which now. Like in the original, maybe we could just switch to dark background here. And then the L1 and L2 could be the whitish. Like this. So L1 is gonna be something like this, L2 this, L3 filled pink, and L4 is just white filled. Yeah, something like this. Now, next thing. Now we should get back to those noise functions that we created. So I could just copy this calculation, this pattern thing, and also there's going to be a little bit of a problem here. Not so much for us. I'm going to fix it in a minute, but still. So first of all, we have we don't have UVs here. I believe we have the so-called layout, V layout. Let's let me comment it first and then output the stuff. No, I think this is the wrong one, right? Layout undeclared identifier. One of the easiest ways is to go here. What do we have here? V layout UV it's called. All right. Right. So yeah, we have kind of UVs for the letters. This is even a kerning concern. You could see the space between H and E. So we have the UVs here. It's more like looking like UVs. Now I could use these UVs instead of these to create the pattern here. Hello to you too. But this pattern is not squarish, and to fix that, we will need to multiply one of those. Like probably I could multiply this one with 5, maybe. No, the other one with 5 then. we're gonna get something more squarish. But this value actually depends on the aspect ratio of the text, and that aspect ratio you could actually easily get here if you just do compute bounding box and then aspect equals. I forget the name of the variable, but maybe we could just, you understand how this works, so I could just get that variable from there. Exactly. You go into the geometry, there's a bounding box thing, and then there's a max and the min thing. So the x is like 134 from 1, and the y is like minus 30 to 35. So the actual aspect ratio is going to be 133 divided by 35, which is 3.8. So let's just check if it works for us. I mean, of course, you would need to calculate it for different texts and for each geometry. But I would need to create a uniform, too much things for only have one text. 3.8, 3.8. Instead of 5, 3.8. Let's see just if it's really square. It is a perfect square, and that means the math works. If you needed a proof that math actually is working, this is it. It's working. Okay, so now we have the square pattern here. Now I have this progress, which doesn't do anything because I need to copy the second part now, like this one. Let's do that. So we have 4 looks, we have the checker pattern here, and then let's do something more here. I think I'd rather switch to LSL. We're still only working. Hello to Germany too. All right, so equals u progress 1, and then p0 we do all the stuff with p0, and then we get the p0 underscore, and then let's output the underscore thing here. Yeah, now we got it. I mean, getting closer. Still something wrong, to be honest, with the UVs for me. I don't know why the E is so different. Had to be the same one. Wonder why this is on. It still achieves the desired effect. I'm just curious why it's not perfect. Maybe with the other font it's gonna be perfect. Why we are already animating the last part, but a little bit weird, but still works for me. Okay, now we have this thing, and now we could use this P0. I mean, we gotta clamp it. Let's call it mix 0. I believe this is what the original code it's called like, and it makes more sense because we're gonna use this value to mix things together. Now we just gotta clamp it. And then in the end, I could use just the mix. Let's say just the transparent thing. Then I'm gonna take L1 and then mix 0. And let's see what's gonna happen now. Nothing, because no why. Error there. P0 undeclare. Okay, okay. Where do we even... Okay, I use it here. Okay, maybe the other way around. And now we got like part of this effect. I still wonder why the VLGV. Maybe this is some kind of specialty with this particular font in the library, because I believe I used Dean font when I tested this and worked perfectly for me with the Dean font. Let's check how fast we could replace this font. Free Dean font, download zip file. Down for that. Dean light. Need Dean bold. Why is it so weird actually? Why is it so weird? Dean TTF, maybe. Oh, okay. Actually easier to find it on my desktop. Dean Pro bold. It's off. Let's replace the font. Of course, I don't like the font. I need something more bold, more compressed, but also something wrong with the UVs. Let's check if it's the case here. Seems all right. Let's get it. This is the FNT file, and this is the PNG. On now. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea after all. Maybe. Oh, because it was hidden this whole time. Oh, this is a developer's life. So I hid it myself, and then I'm trying to figure out like why the hell it is hidden. So now we have this thing, which I already happen to like. So this is the mix 0, which is clamped. I'm still getting the checker pattern here, or maybe because it's no. Why do I get it? Because L1 shouldn't be checkered. It should be like that. So I should get the normal one. So mix 0 is two progresses minus pattern, and then I'm just clamping it. Seems okay. Something is a little bit off, because when it goes from 0 to L1, and L1 is this. Maybe because it's 0.5 here. What I actually want to do, maybe that's because of the transparency and the mixing with the transparency thing. So maybe I could just do this. It's still getting me the gray one. Why would that happen? Come on. Come on. So L1 is the mix 0 is. So when the mix 0 is 0, we're gonna get in 0. I'm gonna get it's gonna be 1. Something is a little bit off. Almost there. Something is a little off. Boom, 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 boom. One is this. And I want to mix. I need it this way. Why the hell I get here a checker pattern? This is some probably obvious mistake. Because I'm mixing kind of things. This is all zeros. And this is like if this one is 1. So this one is not 1 then. Means this one is not getting to the 1. Ah, yeah, right. Thank you, Antoha. Yeah, so I mixed up the order of the cell clamp just to check it. Yeah, the first value is the one that is being clamped, right? And it's the other way around in the smooth step. Because in the smooth step you first state the values and then the one that's being smooth step. Okay. Right. Anyhow, now it should be fine. Should be fine now. Let's see. I need to output 1 minus mix 0. perfect now. All right. So now I could create a couple of layers of my image. So I'm gonna create the like layer 0. Gonna be this mix. And I also need to create a couple of progresses for me. And then this gonna be some kind of layer final, which is gonna be something as well. For now this, and then I need to create a couple of progresses. So for each of the layers, I would need separate progress. 2, 3, 4. And here, that right here. So let's call it progress 1. And then you progress 2. Like this. And progress 3. Right. 4. Do they work? Yeah, no JavaScript errors at least. All good. Now, next thing. Next thing, we have 4 progresses. I need to create 4 layers. So we kind of have the layer 1, so layer 0. Layer 0 is this. Now let's create layer 1, and it's going to be dependent on layer 0. So we're going to paint on top of layer 1, and we paint the L2. Let's output layer 1 to see what's going to happen now. So when the first progress comes, what is wrong with you? Okay, we only have P0 here, but we actually need mix 1, mix 2, and mix 4. Actually need 4 of those too. Probably could be done with a function, but anyway. This one was P0, it's kind of messed up because I want this one to be 1 probably, to be consistent. So 1, 1, 1, and it's 1. And then this one's going to be 2. Two, everything 2. So P1 is a U progress 1, 1, 1, here 1. And P2 is the same with the U progress 2. Yeah, let's have error there. Mix 0, yeah, now we have mix 1 and mix 2. Right, so mix 1 gets me the gray one, and then mix 2 fills me with this one. And we can actually make it a bit smaller. I mean, with this font, it's still, I wonder why it's broken. Maybe V layout UV, not the one that I should be using. But anyway, it should be from left to right. Wonder why the hell it is not. We can fix it, and you know, the fix is gonna be, you're gonna like this fix. Somehow it depends on the letters. V layout UV. Maybe there was another variable there which I missed. Not the V layout UV I should be using, but something else probably. What do we have here? We like index. No, it seems to be V layout UV, but something is wrong. Want it to be so perfect, but V layout UV. Weird, weird. Maybe just the UV. What is actually the actual UVs there? It's probably gonna be per letter UVs, right? But this is V layout UV. It should be Maybe I should recalculate the UV again. I mean, it could be the actual UV could be actually calculated because we have the dimensions of the, and this is a simple plain object, and you have all the dimensions, so it's not that hard to complicate the actual UV. We don't even need the actual UV, we just need the x coordinate of the UV, actually. So, or y2 because we need the square. Anyway, let's leave it at that for now. Yeah, that would explain why they progress. So they're probably dependent, but this is weird because I think I used it in my example before the stream and it worked fine. Anyway, let's finish this out and then see. Wanted to check the actual UVs. The actual UV seems to be per letter once, and then the V out, U. Oh, I know the reason. I'm not actually using V layout UV. This is the reason, because I'm using the VUV, which is the per letter one, and this is why I'm getting per letter animation, because I should actually be using for the smooth step in here. Ah. Okay, let's try this again. Now it's perfect. Oh, what a relief. Huge relief. Anyway, I think it's looking better when the actual bit's actually much, yeah, like this, and then the second layer gets this. Let's create 2 more layers. It's gonna be all 3. Feeling so bad for not using a function for this. I think in the original code it was like that too. We'd probably create a function which just creates mix from the P3. Same thing all around. And then the 4. And the 4. So what's gonna happen actually, we're gonna have like 4 waves of animation, but coming real close to each other. You're a good rubber duck. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Actually, yeah, you directed me in the right direction, directed in the right direction, and we achieved the goal. We fixed that. Now it's perfect. Okay. Now I'm gonna be much more satisfied after the stream that I finished this in the perfect note. Okay, so layer 2. So each layer we are painting on top of the previous one, and then the last layer 4 we're gonna paint on top of yeah, layer 2. I'm gonna paint layer 4 of the image here. The naming could be much better, of course. So let's see how this all works together. So first we have the first wave of the gray border, then we have the second wave of the what? What is L2? L2 is this, L3 is this. L3 is broken now because I think this is set. Yeah, it fix that. Now we could go back to, we don't need layer final actually. Layer 4 is layer final. So first wave, second wave. The second wave should have been okay, let's try first. Yeah, the third and the second and the third are the same one. We somehow, oh, because I'm using the same mixes, right? Again, rehearsing the animation. So far, so good. Now filling it with the, it should have filled with the pink one actually. Filling with the pink. L3's gotta be the pink version. Right, so mix 3 is gotta be, so layer 1, 2, layer 0, layer 1, layer 2. I think I mixed layer 3 here for some reason, I don't know why. And then oh yeah, right. Thank you, Antoine. Saving my ass again. You guys, thank you. such bad typos here. And now we got this. Now what is left is actually, we have, let's switch back the highlight. Chess. And then I have a G sub here. And let's create a button. And finally make this animation. Boom, boom, yeah. So far so good. And now I just need to animate these 4 values. Probably perfect way to use staggering animation, but too complicated. Because I have a single object. Okay, let's first actually check if it's working at all. Does not, because we are animating, okay, maybe like this. Maybe like this. Works. Mm, 0.5 duration probably. I mean, the animation is done. I just want to create the single wave so we could see it in one go. And yeah, and then 4 of the same ones. But we can. Does it work actually for this one? I'm gonna find out now. It works for timelines. Boom, 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 boom. Let's do it the timeline way. Yeah, go in, and then the delay. And here, progress 4, progress 3. I believe the stagger should be much closer. Yeah, this is more like that. And maybe the duration, like, let's make a duration big one. Yeah, this is kind of it. I mean, the colors are not as beautiful as the one they used. And I think also they used maybe additional layer there. It might be more layers because we have also the pink outline here. So we have the white fill, we have the pink fill, we have the pink outline, and we have the white outline. Maybe just instead of the gray one, I should have used the pink outline. Maybe it's going to look a little better. So let's so easy to change. Kind of, so instead of white border here just 1, 1, 1, and here pink. I think it's a little bit better. I mean, if the font would be smaller, it's going to be a little bit cooler, I guess. Yeah, and if there's going to be a lot of text, it's going to be also cooler. So this is the animation. Thank you guys, and thank you Antoha, and thank you Leif for helping me to figure this out. Yeah, made some mistakes on the way, but we are there. This is the animation, and this is what we actually see here. I mean, probably more layers and thinner text probably achieves that, and maybe stagger should be, they should be more separated, these animations, and some easings applied. You gotta play with the easing, but yeah, I could already something like this manually recreate stages of the animation. Like, this has been a lot of simple, easy steps, but we achieved pretty cool thing in the end, right? Hope you like this one. Yay! Thank you guys for being with me. Glad to be back with streaming. Don't know what's going to be the next stream, but there's going to be definitely short videos coming in my Twitter soon. So thank you guys. And really all the credits for this animation and for this way of creating the text animation probably goes to the Leo Chocolate or Leo Moraire? Marwar? I don't know, Leo, I'm sorry, but to you, Leo. So, and to Immersive Garden probably because I think he's working in the Immersive Garden, right? Yeah, training in the Immersive Garden. So this is what you could achieve with a couple of simple steps, and really nice library, by the way. So try to do that yourself. Hope you like this stream. If you have any questions, ask me. I'll be in the chat for a minute. And otherwise, have a nice week, everybody. Have a good Sunday. And I'll have my Ukrainian Sunday here. I'm gonna eat corn. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna eat corn. Thank you, and thank you guys for the support. We really had the full globe combined here today. All right, what else did I have here open? Pretty cool. Have a great week to everybody. Слава Україні і тримаємося. Say some of the kind words this week. Do some.